Alrighty, we return. Here we go. Qualifying in its final stages. A couple people on outlaps, but there's not much time left on the clock. There's going to be traffic. Rouleton, this man is on top. Can he hold that spot? I think he's got a very good chance of getting it done. We will find out. He is going to start, I believe, one more lap, unless he's finishing a final lap. We'll see. We'll see. Cross the line for Rouleton in the Ferrari. He opens up the lap as he goes far left. So, he is starting his final lap. Devon Young in front of him. He's got the Alpine right in front of him and Robbo. Robbo wasn't able to find a good amount of space there on the circuit. We've got a bit of a spinner from the other Williams. That's from Dave Raptors. Heischler is out of qualifying as he retires in the pit lane. And unfortunately, even though the stream is lagging, we're just going to have to carry on. So I really do apologise for these issues. Okay, it is what it is. Rouleton still on pole position. We'll go on board with Devon Young to try and see what can happen. Apologies for the delay. This is quite difficult. But we'll do what we can. Hold on a second. I think we should be good for invites, but I'm going to have to quickly try and invite Felix, because I think I did. It says that he's finished the session. Never mind. Oh, there you go. We just about got it. And then we will have to find them, which isn't going to be too easy because they're hiding. Alright, there you go. Currently on pole position, Tyre Scoresman has taken it away and Rouleton goes into the pit lane. Well done indeed. That's absolutely epic from him. He steals it away. Unfortunately, we weren't able to see it, but that's how it goes sometimes. That is the grid. Tyre Scoresman on pole position, Rouleton in P2, and Devon Young in P3. Tyre Scoresman showing that he is pretty good in the rain after all, so well done for proving us wrong. Can he get the start right? Rouleton's going to be pretty quick off the line as usual. I'm not saying it's just a traction controller kind of thing, but it is still a slight advantage. He should be pretty good off the line. It all depends on who can get the inside into turn one, really, because you can kind of push your way through. Alright, qualifying order. Tyre Scoresman, Rouleton and Devon Young. That's the rest of the grid. And then we'll quickly skim through the race director just in case if we need to. And then we will be back for the race. We'll see you in a bit. Ready? Hold! Go! Who's going to get it into turn one? We're finally away. We're all of a sudden into the race. Task Horseman gets away incredibly. Rouleton can't find a way through to the inside line. No, that is an epic start there from the Aston Martin. Devon Young right behind. He's holding on pretty nicely. He's got Luke, who is hungry, right behind him. Robbo is pretty close as well. So it's all pretty packed further behind, but that is Task Horseman leading the way. Sorry for the mix-up. But anyway, we carry on. It's a little bit tricky further behind. Lots of cars very, very close together into the Degner. It looked like the Haas was going to the inside line, but no, they do back off. Tom Rayner, that is actually Felix Ron, who's unfortunately disconnected. I have invited them twice, but it doesn't seem like they're able to get into the race. That is a shame. Eichler just past Dave Raptors. Dave Raptors may be having a few issues, unfortunately. It's not looking ideal for him as he just lost that position on our screen as of now. But we're good to go. All right. Down the back straight. I don't think anybody's going to be attempting a move for now. We could actually see a bit of a lunge from the Alpine here into the braking zone. Is he really going to try and have a look on the inside? No. He'll back off for now and wait. But there is a bit of a train going on, so it's not so straightforward. Task Horseman leads the way on lap 2. To the inside line. Robbo's using the energy. Going defensive is the Mercedes to the outside line. He's very, very far alongside. Really trying to fight his way through on those medium tyres. That's absolutely perfect. He's going to hold his nose in on the inside. That's never going to work, surely. He's going to have to back off at some point. And he does back off. Luke, that is incredible on those hard tyres. So well done indeed. He's holding on and staying with Devon Young out of all of that. He's hoping that he can get through, because look at that gap between Rouleton and Task Horseman. That is absolutely massive on the second lap of the race. Already he's going to be absolutely furious. He's going to have to try and do a bit of an aggressive send if he wants to get past the Red Bull. It's not going to be that straightforward. There's only one DRS zone, so he does have to get creative, and that is kind of the beauty but also the curse of the track at Japan. DRS, slipstream is all going to be very powerful here on the back straight. Who can make the most of it though? Luke, he's right behind, but Robbo is using everything in the early stages of the race. He really knows what he's trying to do. He's trying to put the pressure on now, force the Mercedes into a mistake, but it's not working this time around. He might have another go if he gets a good exit, but I think it's going to be time for Luke to shine. Another fastest lap there for Horseman as Rouleton cannot hold on. Let's have a quick look at the tyre situation, as that is unfortunately Cohen down the order. I did not realise that unfortunately Nifojan has also had an issue. That is actually a soft tyre. Cohen disqualified as he tries to spin himself around. That is absolutely tragic, and that is going to be the first kind of DNF non-finisher of this race. Okay, Rouleton and Task Horseman, both on the softs. They know something that we don't. Then we do have Devon Young on the mediums and Luke on the hards. Luke's on the more standard strategy. Rouleton's done one of these races before, around Japan pretty recently. I'm not entirely sure about Horseman, but they're definitely trying something new. These tyres could go on for quite a nice while if they manage them. With the gap that they have, they should be able to do that, but Rouleton is going to want to push a little bit to get into the DRS of Horseman. He doesn't want to let him run away, especially with DRS coming available on this next lap. Heischler right behind. PJ's not too far away. His teammate right behind him for today's race is behind him very, very closely as well. So it's all looking a little bit difficult right now at the minute. And unfortunately for Nifojan, he does have a time penalty to his name as well. We're going to quickly get some data on our screen. Not really much has changed position-wise, just a couple of people making progress throughout one pit stop, and that is a 5-second for Nifojan there. So here we go though. Luke finally makes that move on the Red Bull. They're on the hard tyre. So is the Red Bull going to try and come back at him later? I don't think he has the pace. Now that hard tyre has the clean air, he should be good to go. Robbo's on the medium tyre. He's he is in the train, but he's got an equal runner right between himself and Luke, who he was fighting just a few moments ago, just a couple of laps ago. Lap 4 out of 27 now, and he's not looking too bad as Devon Young. He's holding on pretty nicely. 4.7 seconds is the gap that Luke has lost by fighting these guys, and I'm only saying that because he is a current tier driver and he is pretty quick generally. That is a big loss of traction there, as you see the Red Bull make a mistake, but it doesn't matter because Robbo's too far away to actually fight that. We've got Heischler who's trying to come back. It's not going to be possible. He gave it his best shot, but he will sit behind for now, and that's going to be how it goes. No rain scheduled for this race, so you should be able to get some pretty good action. Sending it on the brakes, no loss of traction, except from tyre wear later on in the Grand Prix. The two Williams on their own, just in the distance, and they can see this battle happening ahead. And that is good news for them, because they will be able to catch up as these cars do battle. PJ also on the soft tyre. Felix is also on the soft tyre, but his AI selected that tyre. I don't think he's in the race, unfortunately, so that is going to be his day done. Devon Young back to the inside, but it's not going to work. He's spooked off the circuit very, very slightly. Luke tries to leave a minimum space, and Robbo tries to spot an opportunity to go to the inside. Not going to work once again. It's so tight in the S section. He's not giving an inch, and that is well defended there from Luke. He's got all the confidence in that hard tyre. He managed to keep a pretty nice tight line, and he was able to trust Devon Young on the inside there. You know, these guys are reserve drivers, so they do have to take caution. They can't afford to be too aggressive, but they can still fight pretty nicely, and that is what you saw there from Devon Young. The two EU drivers here, Devon Young and Robbo, they're fighting each other a little bit harder. They do need to be careful that they don't cause an incident and cause Heischler to collect them. Heischler right behind, and he does want to try and find a way through. Dave Raptors makes his way past PJ. That soft tyre is dying off quickly. That gap is absolutely atrocious already from PJ, so that is such a shame. Dave Raptors almost within attacking distance. We've got Devon Young, who doesn't want to go for the move, but he's pretty much got so close to tapping Luke. He's lost a bit of momentum. Panics a little bit on the throttle. He still has DRS. He should be able to get an opportunity to the inside this time. I think he's a little bit further alongside. He's not going to be able to break his lane. Robbo's taking it to the inside. That is a massive risk. That's surely never going to work. And that is Luke holding on to the position. Robbo's still to the outside line. It can't hold on. It's just never, ever going to work using so much tyre wear and energy by doing that. He's going to have to try and think of something a little bit different. He does want to get past because he's on that medium tyre. That's a big mistake there for Devon Young. Is he going to yield? He's not. He's going to hold on. That is a back out there from Luke, and Robbo spotted that absolutely perfectly. Heischler's also going to try and come through. He's to the outside line. This should be a decent advantage on the traction. Not on entry though. Will the Mercedes try and squeeze him? He leaves the space on the traction. Heischler can't find it. He cannot find it. He's going to use the energy to come alongside, but it's always difficult as the contour of the track follows along, and it's almost contact. He tries to give him a bit of taste again. Holds on for now. He's getting so close. It's very pushy and shovey. We now have the Williams also attacking, so Luke really struggling there as there was a moment of contact, as there was a bit of a miscommunication, and then a moment of contact again into Spoon. He lost a lot of momentum. He's got three cars now in front of him that he didn't have just a few moments ago. Less than a lap, now a lap ago. Robbo leads the train. Devon Young still sitting in P2, not close enough to attack at the moment. But that is Heischler coming out on top in front of Luke. He is now the lead hard tyre driver, and that is Devon Young going slowly. What's happened there to Devon Young? He's got an issue. That is not what we usually see in league racing. Usually it's some sort of internet issue, as he is going to have to be careful. He's on the racing line going very slowly. He's probably going to get an investigation for that one, unfortunately. Tom Brainer managed to take avoiding action. But yeah, Devon Young having some sort of issue, and I think that might be his race over, it looks like indeed. What a shame for him to end the race like that. Ruleton has got past Tires Courseman in the meantime, but he's also got himself a time penalty, so that's not ideal. 3 seconds, that could definitely change things later in the race, but it's a difficult circuit to stay within track limits. I'm sure we'll see some others make a couple mistakes as well. Robbo leads the way. Heischler not too far behind, but also not that close either. So they do have to be careful. They have to make sure they maintain that gap, otherwise it is not going to last. You only get one DRS zone, so a lot of corners allow the driver in front to use clean air to their advantage and escape. Bit of DRS here, you should be able to gain a decent amount. ERS-wise, it's all looking a little bit difficult. Robbo not got too much left. Heischler has the upper hand. It's not a significant upper hand, but it's enough to keep him in the battle for now and allow him to hold Luke behind. Luke's got a lot of energy. He's got a lot of pace in this car to extract, but he's just sitting behind at the moment. That's a massive gap to Robbo though. All that fighting, it just did not go well. Devon Young makes it to the pit lane, and that is his race done. What a shame for that to happen. This was going very, very slowly. It would seem that that's a pedal issue if that happens. But yeah, very confused at that kind of retirement. That is a mistake there for Robbo. That is going to allow the McLaren of Heischler to go through. And Robbo is not really going to find another opportunity to get back. That would be a very crazy move to try and have a go to the inside of Spoon. He's going to get a very, very nice toe. That is Heischler making a mistake. He's not even going to need a toe. He's just going to be able to hold on behind. Doesn't have the energy. Luke's to the outside line. Heischler losing the momentum. The Mercedes can't get through. Oh, that is absolutely incredible. Heischler was able to just about hold on with the energy. Luke had a look to the outside line, but he was blocked by the Alpine being in the way. He now has the inside line. He gets the traction down a lot better. He gets DRS. He's got ERS. He's got slipstream. Robbo's still trying to fight back, but it's not going to work. They dip the wheel in the grass. Heischler defending to the inside line. God, pushing Luke a little bit off. And look at this. The Williams is on their way to the inside line. It's not going to work. Just about. They back off. Dave Raptors, a little bit spooked off of that one as they drop back quite far behind, but they found themselves fighting for P4 there. Heischler holding on very nicely. Luke's going to be a bit disappointed with that one, as there wasn't exactly a massive amount of space, but for now, he's still in the train. He's second in this little train, so he can't be too disappointed. I think he'll be okay with that. Tom Brainer, unfortunately, making a mistake. That does cause a yellow flag at Dunlop, but not anything more. Lap 9 out of 27, almost into the double digits. We've got the front runners who are doing a good job. Ruleton's going to have to try and do something strategy-wise if they want to come out on top ahead of Courseman. And these guys are still holding on very nicely with the tyre situation. The hard tyres have not been able to fight too much. They've been struggling to keep the medium tyre runners behind. The medium tyre runners equally have been struggling to keep the hard tyre runners behind. Heischler taking a moment to defend, make sure Luke doesn't think of anything, and then taking the racing line back. DRS available though for Luke. Uses a tad of ERS, realises that he's got a massive amount of slipstream and power, takes the racing line, and that is going to be that position's gained. And Robbo still trying to find an opportunity, but it's just never going to work. If you send it that hard on entry, you will never find the exit to secure the move. So he does really need to consider that. That is a PJ into the pit lane, and he's onto the hard tyre. So hard tyres do seem the way to go regardless, and you could go onto the soft tyre. It looks like with the advantage that Ruleton and Tires Courseman have though, they could go onto the medium tyre from the softs. So actually, they're doing a phenomenal job. This battle behind has allowed them to have this advantage. It seems that as soon as somebody gets ahead, they just can't break away, which just seems backwards to me around a circuit like this. If it was a lot of straights and a lot of DRS, I would understand it, but it just isn't the case. It seems like everybody is following very, very nicely. DRS isn't available along this straight, but it's a long straight that allows Slipstream to become very, very effective throughout. ERS, of course, as well to add to that. As you can see, catching up massively just in the Slipstream. The longer the straight goes, the more effective the Slipstream does become as the car in front caps out. That is a big moment there for Luke. DRS available now for Heischler. He could get a run, but I think he's going to be a bit too far back. He's actually focusing on defending from the Alpine driver. The Alpine to the inside. Heischler couldn't really brake too late. He's really trying his best to hold on to the position. He just about does it. There might have been a little bit of contact there, but it's not a significant amount. And that is going to be Felix 1 AI into the pit lane. So that is actually an interesting one, because that should be the pit strategy more or less. It seems like the soft tyre runners of Rulaton and Tata Courseman are holding on, so they are definitely looking for that medium tyre. I don't see why they wouldn't do if they're going longer than the predicted strategy. If they were shorter and they went for the undercut, that would make sense, but other than that, it's the medium tyre. I just can't see anything happening other than this. Just a second, won't be long, and we'll be good to go. Alrighty, we are good to go. That is unfortunately Devon Young having pedal issues as we expected. So he had his brake pedal stuck on, and that caused him to slow down a lot. If it's a Logitech, it's a known problem, so he does need to try and clean those pedals. Hopefully it is good for tomorrow's race. That is a bit of a breakaway from Luke. This is what he wanted earlier on. No DRS for Heischler, and Robbo tries to come back, sends it so hard that he goes off the circuit. Very, very close with Heischler. It's just never going to work. He doesn't have any ERS though, does the McLaren driver, so it should make it a little bit easier for him to fight back very, very, very soon. He does have a big mistake, and that is going to be possible damage to the front wing. He hasn't lost an end plate. He might have a little bit of very, very light damage. He still stays in the race, but he's lost a massive advantage. He lets Dave Raptors go into a little bit of kind of clean air almost. Dave is going to have to push pretty hard. He's got a lot of battery in that car compared to the McLaren, so he should be able to catch up on the back straight. This is a perfect opportunity for the Williams to get up there and fight for P4, maybe even a podium if Heischler can get within DRS of Luke, but I do think DRS is going to be very, very, very optimistic to find. Both drivers, however, pretty much zero on ERS, so it is about setup. Heischler's not too far off, they're pretty much equal. You can see Dave Raptors has managed to use every advantage he has available. DRS will be available, and now he can definitely get back into this fight. Don't know how his tyres are going to be. Both of the soft tyre runners into the pit lane, and surprise, surprise, we're on the mediums now. Question is, where will they come out, and will they get traffic from anyone? Robbo is going to pass the pit lane just about now, and that is going to be very interesting, because if he tries to go any longer, he should be going to about lap 17, lap 16, according to these guys' pit window. So it could be an interesting one. Will Robbo fight it? Will Rulaton be able to use this to his advantage and kind of not escape, but just try and escape the time penalty range? That is the question. A very good pit stop from Rulaton there. Tyus Korsman was not able to back that up, unfortunately, so he did lose a massive amount of time, maybe 5 tenths, unless he lost it before the pit lane, and that's what caused Rulaton to take action and go into the pit lane, but also action was taken from Tyus, so that would assume that everything was pretty much fine onto the pit lane entry. It's just Ruleton getting a very, very decent pit stop. And Korsman struggling a little bit, trying to use as little ERS as possible to get within DRS range. You could see he just used a tiny little bit there. He's probably going to use some now, as he does do a good job of catching up. It just depends if Ruleton can fight back. Is he going to use the energy to do so? He has a lot of energy in that car. I think he's thinking of maybe the long game and hoping that Tyus gets a time penalty later, but it's not going to be straightforward. That is Heischler into the pit lane. I'm not sure if I'm seeing things, but that looked like a pretty slow entry, so he might have had an issue maybe locking the rears. He goes and puts on the medium tyre. So, yeah, I'm going to say that maybe the hard medium hasn't worked, but that's probably mostly down to the increased rate of fighting going on. That is PJ right behind us. He got a little bit of an undercut. He might be able to come back later in this race by being on that alternate tyre. We could see, of course, others doing the same thing. Currently, the only guys that haven't made a pit stop is Dave Raptors, Luke, and Robbo. Of course, Nifajan hasn't done it as well. He's a little bit further behind. We've got Ruleton already making that move on Robbo. Big mistake there as there's a bit of contact. Robbo onto the inside line. There's a tap. Ruleton trying his best to swoop around the outside. This allows Korsman to get involved. He's now right up behind Ruleton, butted up against the rear wing. DRS isn't available, as I said, but it's going to be a mega tow. Will he be able to get into the braking zone and maybe fight? It looks like he could have a very good chance. Does he prefer DRS down the main straight, though? It looks like he prefers DRS down the main straight, so he is going to be waiting for that opportunity very soon. Here we go, on the brakes, into turn 1 and 2. Kind of a big whole corner, basically. He's going to have a look, maybe, but no, I think he's going to focus on defending from the Alpine rather than actually going for the move into turn 1 or 2. So, thinking of the long game, he has every advantage as of now because Ruleton has a time penalty. Robbo trying his best to hold on, but I don't think this is going to work. He's just on those dead tyres. He can't hold on any longer. Dave Raptors and Luke, they're doing a good job. Luke's trying to go longer, maybe look for a safety car. He's going to have to hope that his soft tyres are good enough to fight back, but look at the advantage. Look at the gap. It's about 6-7 seconds between Ruleton and Luke. So that is how good their strategy has worked so far, and they stick together to Ruleton's frustration, but Tyus Korsman's absolute delight. So very well done for him to make that work. Of course, a little bit of luck is involved as you try and hope that the cars in front do fight, which they did. So he does deserve that. Even if it was a little bit of luck that the cars did fight and he was able to gain massively, he's still in a very good position that he deserves to be in. Once again, just holding back. It looks like he's probably going to do this for most of the race until the end. I don't see why he would want to fight too much. He's risking winning his first ever race, which is just pretty much bonkers if you actually try and do it. So he is pretty much good to go for now. Just leaving himself be. Robbo into the pit lane for the soft tyres. So he's tried to maybe undercut Dave Raptors. He had a bit of a gap, of course, after that spin. He might get an undercut, but you look at the massive advantage that PJ has got right there. Heischler, even more so a massive advantage by pitting just a couple of laps ago. So well done to him. He got that very right. And I think he's probably going to bag a P3 here, so that should be a podium if he can catch up to the cars in front. He might have a look at a P2 or a P1, but a 13-second gap, I'm not going to say it's going to be that easy to do so. Luke, is on his own. Dave Raptors, that is a different story. He's got 2 cars hungry for a position. Ruleton makes a mistake. Tyres Korsman, can he look for the double move? He is going to look for the double move. He's really going to try to the inside. 3 wide into 130R. That's not going to work. There's a bit of a mistake, a bit of contact to the outside line. The Aston's looking, goes defensive once again, does Ruleton, and he's not going to try and fight that one. He just wanted to make sure that he followed Ruleton very, very quickly to make sure he didn't lose any time, because he's in a mega position. He's looking to the inside line. It's not going to happen. He's just going to defend from the Williams to prevent him from fighting and causing any unnecessary issues, and that will be that done. Lap 16 on those tyres for Dave Raptors. Doing a good job to keep these going, but it's just never going to be the fastest way to go, especially with the strategy that these guys have had. 4 seconds is the gap between Ruleton and Luke. Just watch it, see how it goes. We get a couple of corners right here, which will give the medium tyre runners the best advantage in the entire circuit. A massive braking zone into the hairpin, which is always going to be nice. 2 tenths gained already, 3 tenths, maybe 4 on the traction zones as well. That will be an extreme advantage for him as well. Regardless, he's just going to be rapid. The tyres are just going to be a massive advantage, and that is 6 tenths gained in a couple of corners, and you've got the high speed section hit of Spoon. That's going to give you an advantage as well, and that is going to be 2 tenths. I'm surprised it wasn't more there. So 8 tenths overall with just a few corners, pretty much a sector. And now he's got a bit of a straight, which does allow Luke to breathe very slightly. Is he going to go into the pit lane this lap? I think it might make sense. There's not really too much of a kind of question to go any longer. He brakes as hard as he can without locking the tyres too much. Into the pit lane he goes, and that was a big risk there. But he went as late as he could, and he got there safely without getting a penalty. Now, he's got some pretty fresh tyres compared to the other guys. Robbo is going to be at risk later on in this race. PJ's not going to be as fast, and probably not going to be faster than Luke whatsoever. Dave Raptors, he's going to be a slight danger, but I mean, honestly, I think he's probably going to drop off a little bit too soon. We've got Robbo jumping in front of Dave Raptors. These guys might have to work together if they want to catch up, because Robbo's tyres 2 laps older. They do need to make sure that they think about this carefully, otherwise it's not going to be that easy whatsoever. 1.6 seconds between PJ and Luke. He sits in P5. He's going to do his best to hold on, but 3 seconds, that should be possible for the soft tyre runners to catch up. You can see the Williams just in front in the distance is looking pretty good for them. Top 2, it's decided between the top 2, but who's going to be P1 or 2? That is the question. Eichler looking like he's pretty good on his own. 4 lap old tyres advantage. That's probably not going to be enough for Luke, to be honest. 4.2 seconds. He does need quite an advantage if he does want to make a move. It's not impossible. We know he's quick. He had pace earlier on. He just wasn't able to escape. Dave Raptors trying his best to push to the DRS range of Robbo. He's got a lot of energy as he wasn't fighting too much earlier on. So paying off for this stage of the race. Robbo fighting so hard earlier on, it didn't quite work out for him. Right now he does, I want to say have DRS, but he doesn't have DRS on PJ, so he's going to have to wait a little bit longer. He catches up a massive amount, but Dave Raptors even more so. That's absolutely epic from him, so well done indeed. Tom Brainer and Nifojan, they could fight at some point soon. There's a bit of a gap in between these guys, but we could see a fight. He served his time penalty, so now all he needs to do is get within time penalty range, which I believe is probably going to be 3 seconds for Tom Brainer. We'll have a quick look just to double check. It is 3 seconds, so all he needs to do is get within 3 seconds and he will gain that position. Can he get the job done? These two fighting on their own. I mean, they're not really fighting, they're kind of working together. It's a little bit of a shame that we're not watching them too much more, but they're putting their heads together, they're thinking hard, and they're doing what they need to do to secure the 1-2 and have a battle on their own. Luke gaining so much on Heischler. We're gonna have a battle for P3 here. The podium is definitely up for grabs. Heischler could be in trouble. He's tried to save ERS from earlier on, and he's done a decent job of it. Both Dutchmans are pretty much even right here. And that is PJ. He has been taken care of by the soft tyre runners. Will he try and come back? He's going to use as much energy as he possibly can. There's a bit of lag involved, but that is going to be Dave Raptors holding on. The ERS advantage that Dave Raptors does have is just so significant. He's always going to maintain that position. It's never going to be a question. You can see those tyres are starting to get a little bit old now. They should be consistent, but they're just not the easiest to drive with, unfortunately. Dave Raptors with all the energy in the world. He's got a decent amount of grip. 2 laps fresher. That might just be enough to secure this P6, P5 that these guys are battling for. It's not going to be that easy to catch up to Luke, though. Luke's got a lot of pace in that car. Onto the grass he goes. The space was minimal, and that is going to be him losing a significant advantage. What a shame there. That was absolutely incredible stuff to hold the car and get that control under. Now, he doesn't lose DRS range, interestingly, so he holds on. And he will be able to fight again later. He's got a lot of energy, as we said earlier on, so he's going to be golden to give it a second opportunity. Luke, this is going to be exciting. We're going to have 2 battles going on to finish this race, which is always what we like. It seems to be what happens in LSI. We get some kind of interesting parts in the middle where not too much happens, and then all of a sudden at the end, it's go time. And that is kind of what league racing is about. And it's working nicely to create some good entertainment and retention, more importantly. 8/10. He's got the DRS range after all of that, so he does get in attacking range. DRS available for Dave Raptors. He's caught up nicely now. Is he going to try and wait and see if he can attack later on, or is he going to try and fight hard? He's got a lot of energy. I think he knows that he's got a lot of pace. He might want to try and make the move and just test his pace for tomorrow to see if he is a lot faster than his teammate. If he is able to assert dominance, he might be able to have team orders later on in the race tomorrow. But that being said, I don't think he's going to want to do that, to be honest. They are very much in the early stages of the championship. They are fighting for each other's Drivers' Championship anyway, so team order shouldn't be a question. They're right behind, but more importantly, we're going to have a look at this battle. We could see a bit of a dive to the outside line. Once again, going defensive was Heischler there. We go back to this battle. Don't think we're going to get a send on the brakes. It's just not going to happen. Once again, we sit where we are. ERS being used. This is the move to be done for P3. He's got fresher tyres and he's got a lot more ERS. I think that is battle over already, just as it started. Well done, Luke. Executed that to perfection. That is awesome. Robbo and Dave Raptors fighting once again. Robbo holding on, and Dave Raptors seeing the curbs. Got a lot of energy still. I feel like I'm repeating myself because I am repeating myself. But it is still an interesting battle. Tom Brainer, he was just about within DRS. He does hold on, and he tried to make sure that he was fighting with Jam, but with that time penalty, it's not going to look so straightforward. He gains a bit of energy or time on the DRS, but that's going to be pretty much that done. The tyre advantage as well. Mediums versus hards. It's just not going to be a question. Felix was not able to join, as we once again reiterate, and that is Tom Brainer off the circuit, unfortunately, as he understeers through the S section. We saw that a couple times, understeering in the S section, so he maybe needs to get on top of that for tomorrow. Otherwise, he could have a pretty big disadvantage. Lap 23 out of 27, coming to the closing stages of this Grand Prix. Looks like Rilloton's trying to control the pace by being a decent margin in front. Luke goes for the fastest lap as he's unleashed. 13.9. Watch how that goes. He should be able to catch up anyway because, well, I mean, he's just got the tyre advantage. The question is, how much can he catch up? It's a shame that we won't find out to see if it would have been enough to fight for the win later, but I think he can be pretty proud of this one. The race that he's had, it's not been easy, and he is in the podium positions after all of that. You still get a trophy at the end. Virtual trophy, I know, but still, it's pretty decent. Those courseman just making sure that he doesn't lose too much, otherwise he will be in pretty big trouble. And unfortunately, that's going to be PJ retiring for the session. That's going to be a safety car. Rilloton is going to get an opportunity to pit. I think they kind of have to, because if they don't pit, everybody else is going to pit. Rilloton now, that is such a shame, because all of a sudden, that time penalty that he's tried to get an advantage over is going to be very dangerous. Luke isn't slow, Heisler isn't slow. They're going to be right there. Soft tyres it will be. They have to go into the pit lane. It's just not a question. Oh, and that is a mistake there for Courseman. You don't need to worry. He's got a 16-second gap between himself and the rest of the cars. He will be absolutely fine. Luke is loving this. He should be able to get a P2 because Rilloton has that time penalty. Can he fight Courseman for the P1? The two Dutchmen will be fighting out at the end. We've got Heisler right there. He's now going to be on fresh tyres, all equal playing fields. Fresh tyres for Robbo, fresh tyres for Dave Raptors, and Ifrajan, he's going to be in the battle. After going off on lap 1 and being pretty much deemed out of this Grand Prix, battle-wise, Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the LSI F1 Championship. Welcome to the post-race interviews. First of all, I would like to say apologies for the quality of the stream today. Very, very confusing from my end. So, yeah, I know exactly as much as you do. Anyway, we will start the interviews. Heischler, that was a bit of an interesting race. The strategy was absolutely nuts. The safety car brought you back into contention, and you had a pretty crazy ending. Can you take us through that one?
Yeah, to be honest, I have to give credit to everyone I was fighting to. That was a lot of fun, and everyone was close to each other on pace. Yeah, the whole hard stint was pretty much fighting with like 4-5 other people. And yeah, I tried to undercut Luke because I got out of his DRS and just felt like the hards were falling away. So I thought, let's put on the mediums one lap earlier than I would. No, 2 laps actually, if I think about it. But yeah, I undercutted him, but he had just a bit too much space on the new mediums to actually be able to keep with him. And I made a mistake as well, so yeah, that didn't help. I thought in the end he would drop off a little bit. He would hit that first cliff, and then I perhaps could catch up again. But yeah, the safety car came out, and that brought me back. And I have to say that finish was something. That was something. I really liked that. I was so close.
Background, and it was very, very close. I have a question. Do you think if you didn't fight the position that you might have been able to secure a P3 over Rillaton anyway?
Perhaps, but you still want more in it. You still want to try to maybe even get a P2.
Fair enough. All right, well, thank you very much for that one. Next race is Qatar. Do you like that circuit?
No.
No? Okay. Fair enough. Well,
it's penalty city. No, I don't like it.
And fuel as well. Hopefully, that's not an issue. All right, well, thank you very much. I think that's it, pretty much. Look, one last question. How would you describe your race in 3 words?
Just had fun.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Well done today.
Thank you.
And we move on to Nifo. Jan, Nifo, that was a long, long race. In the end, you do catch up. But yeah, that was hard. Well done for staying in it, by the way.
Yeah, it must have been like the most life-draining race of my life, really. I mean, it just starts in T1. I think it cautious even, and I guess the cars out in front just bunched up, and I think Dave reacted to it a bit late, so he just literally slammed the brakes on, like fully. Like I don't know, it must have been like a lot of brake pressure because he literally just stopped almost like relatively to me. So yeah, I broke my front wing. There's literally nothing I could do. Maybe if I was on the inside, I would have avoided it. But obviously, there are other cars that I'm looking at, and it's a bit chaotic. But yeah, I don't think it was anything I could do in there. So I just bit immediately. Just don't hope for a safety car. It only gets. I've learned from previous experience. It only gets worse from there. Pit mediums, speed in the pit lane. That was great because apparently in this circuit it doesn't show you when it doesn't turn green when like you have the right limit. So I kind of went in a bit confused and then sped like by 4 kph. Yeah, just drove all on my own. Nobody close for like the first 16 laps. Pit again, this time don't speed, have to serve the 5 second, and then just catch up as much as I could, and then yeah, the only person I could catch was Tom, and Felix, who was disconnected, so only Tom really. So yeah, it was. I called him. I was like, well, that's fun. I finally see someone, and then obviously with the newer tires, I pull away again. I'm all on my own again, and then obviously, unfortunately for PJ, he made a mistake, got a safety car out. And that didn't even help me that much because I had to push to get to it. By the end, like everybody's softs was like maybe 1, 2, 3, maybe 4%, and mine were 10. So I already knew, wow, this is not going to be fun. I couldn't save my ERS because I had to push to catch the safety car. And I couldn't save as much ERS because my fuel was low. And to just the cherry on the cake, I had an AI car in front of me at the restart, so I didn't even have the chance to catch Robbo and Dave and Gijs out in front. It's a bit of a shame. I think I had some pace in me today. I think the setup could have worked against these guys. It's a bit more William-esque defensive setup, but yeah, it's a shame, but it happens in racing.
Yeah, I mean, well done. You tried very hard to stay in that race, so I respect that. Very well done. And I mean, at the end of the day, you've scored the points, so good job. And I mean, to be honest, I'd say you're probably carrying AlphaTauri at this point, you know? Come on,
Yeah.
Jimmy, pick it up, man. Anyway,
Absolutely.
Qatar, yeah, high downforce. Do you think maybe a lower William-esque setup would help?
No.
Okay.
I cannot cope with that. I don't know. It's something about Qatar that like Qatar. If you have understeer, you really just die, and that's kind of what I don't want to run oversteer. So I think it's gonna be a long race. That's it that way.
Fair enough. Well, I mean, it can't be that much longer than this one, surely.
No.
Anyway, thank you very much. One last question: how would you describe your race in 3 words?
I'm all alone.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Well done. That was a good one. Alrighty, we move on to Tyler Scoresman. That is your first race win. Well done today. I'm sure Zingy's going to have something to say as he wasn't here, and like, you only won because I wasn't there. Anyway, well done today. That was not easy with Ruleton, of course, being there, but I guess it was kind of slightly easier because you didn't really need to worry too much, just sitting behind. Did you try to go and win on track position, or were you just focused on maintaining and securing the win?
So before the safety car, yes, I was very much focused on winning on track because I thought it would be more fair. I think I had like a 75% ERS advantage over him because he was flashing.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to overtake him on track, but after the safety car, I mean, without any DRS until the end, it was kind of impossible to overtake him. So I just went for the waiting route. The entire race wasn't all that exciting, to be honest, because the strategy around here is kind of just wait till the end and try to overtake in the dying laps, because fighting at the beginning is not really worth it.
Mm-hmm.
I had a strategy in mind to go in the sauce, try and pull away, get a huge undercut, and then never be seen again. But he had the same idea, so we ended up seeing each other a lot. Yeah, I mean, I wish I could have won on track, but a win is a win, so I'll take it.
Well done, very well deserved, and yeah, I mean, I've already said it, you deserve that one, well done. Qatar, don't know if you're going to be there next time, but do you like the circuit? Do you like the nature of it? Do you like the strategy, the increased strategy with the fuel?
I think it could be interesting as the strategy, but that's really the only thing, because it's a nightmare to overtake anywhere, really. You can't run low downforce because the track is high downforce in general. And the higher the speed, the more dirty air, so it's kind of a mess. But yeah, I'll see what I can do if I join. I think I will.
Awesome. Well done today. That is the first win, so you deserve that. Finally, it comes across, so yeah, well done. Denied from the DRS last time, and this time it works out. Alrighty, thank you very much. One last question. How would you describe your race in 3 words?
A bit boring.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Well done today.
Thank you.
And that has been it for the post-race interviews. Thank you very much for watching. It's been a pleasure to be back. Thank you very much for having patience with me for the pretty poor commentary, I'm not going to lie. But also thank you for having patience with the stream. Try and fix it by tomorrow, but can't promise anything. It might just be another radio broadcast. Anyway, I will leave it there. See you tomorrow and see you next week. Bye-bye.